had been hoping that it would be in the first round.
The phone has finally rung in Stillwater, Oklahoma for running back Thurman Thomas of Oklahoma State. It's the first selection made by the Buffalo Bills.
Thomas slid to the second round of the draft because of questions about his knee. But in his 8 seasons in Buffalo, he's been named to 5 Pro Bowls. And last year, for the 7th straight season, Thurman Thomas ran for over 1,000 yards.
Cars have come a long way, and since 1988, many of them come with computer-controlled transmissions. That's why AMCO centers have expert technicians with state-of-the-art diagnostic tools to spot the difference between a simple transmission problem and a complicated one. No wonder half the cars serviced by AMCO centers don't need a new transmission. AMCO is leading the way in the transmission business, and no one is even close to catching us. AMCO, AA, MCO.
The boys of summer are back, pounding out America's favorite pastime with all the power and panache that makes a day at the ballpark an exhilarating experience. From the first pitch to the final strike, the 96 season promises to be the most competitive in years. Can the new macro strike zone still the game's mighty sluggers? Or is this the year the Babe's record is blasted into oblivion? ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball. We'll take you there on Cox Cable.
All great cars are built from the ground up. But to build something truly extraordinary, we had to dig a little deeper. Introducing the new Acura CL Coupe. Further proof that luxury doesn't have to be boring.
It takes more than a great player. It takes a great man to open a center for the treatment of cystic fibrosis. Congratulations, Boomer Esiason, True Value NFL Man of the Year. You've been a big help.
Pete Rivers, Charlie Hustle, one of baseball's all-time greatest players, bought from the Hall of Fame. To get past first base with sports stars like Pete Rose, you've got to get close. No, closer. You've got to get up close on ESPN.
I made some mistakes. Why should I be bitter at people?
Every weeknight, ESPN goes one-on-one with the biggest names in sports. In-depth, unrehearsed, no holds barred. Join Chris Myers on Up Close, weeknights at 6, only on ESPN.
The draft continues on ESPN. We're with you here on ESPN till 1 o'clock in Winston Cup Racing from Martinsville. Mel, when we started the morning, we listed some of the best available players. That list has dwindled.
Just 3 left. Chris Dawkins, I think what hurt Dawkins was he missed 3 key games late in the year with a high ankle sprain against Michigan, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. It's going to be a good pick at this point. Marcus Coleman's a big, strong safety type, and I really like Greg Myers. I tell you, smart kid, very productive, can also return punts for you.
Just off that board, Ray Farmer from Duke, taken by the Eagles.
Say a big kid, a former backup tight end, also an outstanding baseball player, drafted by the Mariners, moved to free safety. Watch him, number 22. Watch his ability here. Blocks the kick, and there he goes. I mean, this guy is a special athlete. 6'3½", 224 pounds. I know Ronnie Lott has a very high opinion of Ray Farmer. He feels he's going to be a great NFL, pure safety, and I know he was ecstatic about this kid's potential. And certainly, watch this kid play. He can cover. He's just not a big guy who's limited to supporting the run or being a hitter. This guy can play the pass and do a good job as an all-around defensive back. I really like Ray Farmer's athletic ability.
And you notice some of those highlights in games against Florida State. He did play very well against the elite competition in the ACC. You mentioned Ronnie Lott loves him as a free safety, as a safety in the future in the NFL. The Eagles announced him here as a linebacker selection. Sal Palantonio's in Baltimore, but in contact with the folks down I-95 in Philadelphia. Sal, where do the Eagles see Ray Farmer?
Mike, it's just like Mel said, Ronnie Lott, Ray Rhodes. Of course, Ray Rhodes coached Ronnie Lott in San Francisco, and I talked to Ray Rhodes a few minutes ago. He said he likes him at left outside linebacker. Don't forget, they lost Bill Romanowski to free agency. They also lost Kurt Gavea, a middle linebacker, so they're looking for linebackers, and that's where they think Ray Farmer can play. He's very aggressive against the run, likes to jam receivers at the line of scrimmage, will work in perfectly here. He's got the athletic skill to play left outside linebacker, Ray Rhodes says. Let's go back to Mike Tirico in New York.
Okay, Sal, thank you. So that's a question for Ray Farmer and the Eagles that they will work through in the rookie mini camps, which come up shortly, and then the regular preseason setting in July in Pennsylvania, no longer at Westchester, I believe, for the Eagles. But we're talking about a guy who may have to change position from college to the NFL. How tough is that?
I think it'll be easy for him because he's played some linebacker and he's a big hitter. They like smaller guys that can run. Look at William Thomas. He's only about 220. He'll fit in nicely in that defense because Ray Rhodes is looking for speed and aggressiveness, and this guy brings both to the table.
Bringing all these things to the table and all the numbers we talk about in assessing prospects and future picks, well, let's turn the page back. The Mel Kiper Bible in blue that you see from time to time here. Let's go back, what's that year? 19, do I even have to say it, Sterling? 88? Sterling Sharp was one of the players written up, and here is Mel's write-up of one Sterling Sharp, looking far younger at that point, in a class with Jerry Rice, Al Toon, and Eddie Brown. The 3 top wideouts available in the draft. Sterling can do it all, rating as a potential franchise wide receiver at the pro level, and Green Bay, which just made its 4th round selection, came up with the choice. We do know that franchise was misspelled, but Sterling, we understand you wrote up your own bio.
I was much faster than 4 or 5, I'd like to say. I mean, Mel, I think you had your times a little wrong, but Mel did an excellent job of tabbing me as a franchise player, and he got a raise for that. I mean, he did a great job.
Did he? I didn't know he got a raise.
Got his own television show. I mean, QVC.
Speechless?
No, I am. Sterling's my agent now. He's done a great job selling me the last couple of days here. He did it in Bristol yesterday. He's doing it back here today.
Green Bay Packers, team on the clock as we await their selection. Sterling Sharp was a selection in the past. They continue to build towards a successful future in Wisconsin, just a win shy of the Super Bowl last year. We'll be back in a moment.
10 minutes? Perfect. I'll see you then. Ah, the bubbly. Thank you, buddy.
Your door is set.
No.
9 minutes. Close. Yes. I got a date in 4.5 minutes.
You smiling?
Hey! Hello. Just a technical problem.
Barry, what's going on in there?
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Sports is big business. You already know that. But see how major athletes team with big corporations to market themselves into global enterprises on an all-new Outside the Lines. Sports Inc. Tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Only on ESPN.
Oh, your stomach is about in your throat, you know, and your heartbeat is about bazillion pumps per second.
People talk about butterflies, but it's like in a knot before the game.
Somehow you got to calm yourself down. You know that the ball is coming.
The fans in the stands are just going crazy, pointing fingers, saying you're going to fall.
You got to be real physical. You got to be intense. Because if you aren't, you're not going to survive.
The linebackers, you know, they all looking at you and the eyes are big.
I can't outrun the other guys on that field, but somehow I find a way to do it.
You can't be thinking about anything else except just putting the ball through the uprights.
I like to be in the tough situations when everything is on the line.
It's like going through 15 car wrecks in one day.
It all comes down to power. It really does.
It takes over your whole body.
It's the best feeling ever.
I can feel it.
I can feel it pumping through my veins.
I can feel it coming at me.
I can feel it pulling on me.
I can feel the power. Come play with us for about a week and see what you think about it. You know, just see what you think about it.
The draft continues. When we took a break, we told you Green Bay was on the clock, and they selected what Mel thought was the best remaining player out there for the last little bit, Chris Dawkins, the running back out of Minnesota. And a little bit later on, we'll talk about the possible impact of a running back going to Green Bay as you get a chance to look at the last 6 selections. Speaking of 6, at pick 6 of this draft, yesterday, Lawrence Phillips was taken by the St. Louis Rams. And obviously, there was a great deal of controversy surrounding the pick, not just amongst the NFL teams, but in each city where Phillips potentially would end up. Well, he's in St. Louis. He met the media today, and here are some of his comments a short time ago.
What was your feelings after the Jerome Bettis trade?
Oh, I didn't actually find out about it until I got here. I was kind of surprised. I don't know. I was thinking maybe he would play fullback, but I guess that just opens it up a little more for me. I mean, less competition, so it gives me more of a chance to get the starting spot.
Lawrence, are you prepared for the media scrutiny for all aspects of your life, the words that we've gotten both on and off the field? Are you prepared for that, and how have you prepared if you are?
I'm definitely prepared. I've been through it when I was